imagine yourself abundant. You don't say imagine yourself abundant with $1 million, or abundant with $10,000, or abundant with 34 children, or abundant with 5, or abundant with 100 friends, or abundant with 2, or abundant with 13 dogs and 14 cats in your house. No. What you do is you command, direct the imagination to imagine yourself in abundance or as abundance. To imagine you abundant. The imagination then, through choice, begins to manifest abundance. In other words, the imagination provides the opportunities for choice to choose abundance. Once choice chooses the perspective of abundance, then the mind creates it by applying that choice to your existence. Now, we've shown a certain degree of separation here between the mind, choice, and imagination, and we assure you there is very, very little separation between all three. However, the reason we've suggested a certain degree of separation is to provide you with a perspective of how the energy moves. The energy moves from the command of the you that is you, the command of the application of will, to imagination, through choice, through the mind, to manifestation. As a result, therefore, it could be said that the you that is you, through the application of will, the ego personality, through the application of mind, the self, through the application of imagination and choice, and every part that forms those, the self, the ego personality, and the you that is you, all then must interact in order to create. And therefore it could be said that you are the creator. The statement, I am the creator, is designed to bring about within yourselves an awareness of every aspect of yourselves that creates. If you recall in the prior session to this one, which is after this particular session, session number 4, we suggested that choice creates, and the application of choice alters and shifts your existence. We suggested fairly strongly that if you choose, you can choose to alter and shift your existence. You are the creator. You encompasses choice. We also suggested that every aspect of the self must, by the very nature of the reality in which you exist, must choose together to alter and shift choice. In this particular session, which comes after the session after this, and prior to the session before this, in this particular session, we are suggesting that you, creators, every aspect of the self, the ego personality, the you that is you, however you wish to describe it, must all be willing to choose the very creation that you create in order for the creation to be created. So there is no separation. From one perspective, it could be said that you, dear friends, are the creation. Your reality is the creation. The nature of your reality is the creation. So now, as creators, can you choose to alter and change the circumstances of your existence? Absolutely. For you are creators. View it from this perspective. To use the example we gave earlier of Johnny and his bicycle, and the young girl, 15, very beautiful, and the older fella, 17, with his car. Johnny had intelligence, acne, but a very nice bicycle, and was perceived as by himself as a nerd. Saw himself in that fashion. Now Johnny wants to change his reality. He wants to be perceived, accepted, and appreciated for his intelligence, for his brilliance. How does he go about doing this? If his ego personality sees him as less than because of his intelligence or because of his acne, he will never be perceived for his intelligence, for his brilliance. He will always be seen as less than. Some will perceive him for his brilliance, but most will not, because his perception of himself as less than overrides his perception of his brilliance. The young female, age 15, would certainly not observe his brilliance. All she would see would be his acne and his bicycle, which she's not really interested in. So to be observed, to be appreciated, to be accepted for his brilliance, Johnny must now believe himself, see himself, perceive himself, know himself as brilliant. Notice we said believe, see, perceive, and know. Because it isn't just a belief structure. This isn't about shifting a thought form in the mind. It isn't about saying, when you think yourself unbrilliant, think yourself brilliant, and therefore you will be. This is not about just shifting a belief structure. This isn't about looking at yourself in the mirror and saying to yourself in the morning 100 times before going to school, I am brilliant. This isn't about trying to convince yourself. This isn't even about seeing yourself as brilliant or perceiving yourself as brilliant through the filter of judgment. In other words, I am brilliant because so-and-so isn't, and so-and-so isn't, and if I measure myself against them, then I recognize my brilliance. No. It is about knowing your brilliance. It is about observing yourself so completely, so sufficiently, that you know your brilliance. Johnny must know his brilliance. Once he knows his brilliance, he will never doubt it. He will never reduce himself for it. And he will never make himself greater than. He's not going to look at another and say, I am more brilliant than you are. This isn't about more or less. This is not about judgment. This is about simple brilliance. So when he views himself, he would say to himself, I am brilliant. And knowing his brilliance, he would allow himself, through choices, to manifest himself in his brilliance, such that another would look at him and say, you are brilliant. Now, another may look at him and measure themselves against him in order to determine his brilliance. That may be the methodology they use. And that is to their credit, not to Johnny's. Another may choose simply to observe without judgment Johnny's brilliance and accept Johnny as brilliant. And that is to their credit, not Johnny's. But regardless of the methodology used to perceive, observe, appreciate, know the brilliance of Johnny, it will not occur until Johnny and every aspect of him, his soul essence, his ego personality, the you that is you, the self,